Ain't but two genders. Two genders. Ain't nothing but men and women. And I can already see WRL out there. They got they licking their pencils right now, trying to write fierce as they can. Get every word of this here. Get every word of this. You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up, man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA. You can't transcend God's creation. I don't care how hard you try. The transgender movement in this country, if there's a movement in this country that is demonic and that is full of the spirit of Antichrist, it is the transgender movement. It's time for grown-ups and time for Christians to start standing up and being unafraid to tell the truth. Come after me if you want to. I don't care. You want my head? Here it is right here. Come on, come get it. I don't care because it's time for us to stand up. Now I'm not afraid to stand up and tell the truth about that issue. They're dragging our kids down into the pit of hell, trying to teach them that mess in our schools. Tell you like this, that ain't got no place at no school. 2 plus 2 don't equal transgender. It equals 4. You need to get back to teaching them how to read instead of teaching them how to go to hell.
You know, I don't adhere to any sort of Christian doctrine or anything that has to do with Christianity, but I must say that as far as that religion, as well as Islam, you know, the Nation of Islam, those are like the closest to righteousness. Even though they come from, you know, wicked origins, it's pretty much based in Luciferianism, because that's how Lucifer or Satan works. He works in deception. So you conform to something thinking that it's cool and, you know, it's of something good and, you know, it's harmless, not knowing that the origins of it is based in deception. It's based in something that we should not be adhering to. But at the same time, like I said, those are the closest religions or dogmas or doctrines that's associated with righteousness. You know, in Islam, they have the woman cover herself up for the most part, even though you have some of these women out here who cover themselves up but still looking slutty. So it's like, what's, you know, it just defeats the purpose. But, you know, Mark Robinson, he was right, man. You know, he was right, and he was cooking. All points valid. All points valid is wickedness, just when it comes to that agenda of transgenderism. And the reason why I always harp on that is because that's pretty much the symbolic adherence in this society. And the reason why I say symbolic, because not only is it symbolic, it's also subconscious. Because these people in this society, they worship the goat. And the goat is the Baphomet, which represents, you know, androgyny, the opposites coming together, male and female parts. You see a lot of these people, they say, oh, he the goat, oh, you the goat, this goat, that goat, that. That's a way for the people in power to get people to accept these doctrines, unbeknownst to them. You got people saying goat, not even knowing that it's not necessarily going into greatest of all time when you speak about it. To you, you think it is, but the more you say it, the more it's easy for you to get down with the program in regards to what it's really about when it comes to the goat, the Baphomet, or Pan, or the Bacchus, the goat. This is why you see the goat motif everywhere, especially in the industry, especially in entertainment. Whether it be, you know, in the sports field or the music field, movie field, whatever, you always going to see the goat. Because that's what hovers over this society. And it's synonymous with transgenderism because the Baphomet is the transgender god or the transgender deity, the androgynous quote unquote deity, representing male and female parts, perfection when it comes to their concepts and what they adhere to, what they believe in. Even on the album, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, before he goes into the song about transgenderism, pretty much where he's in agreement with it, before that song comes on, Eckhart Tolle, he says, this is how we conceptualize human beings. Like, understand what he said there. This is how we conceptualize human beings. You're not even a real entity. You're a concept. You're a concept. You're not even a natural entity. You're a concept. And it just from when we saw it in the beginning of the video with Mr. Robinson, it pretty much reminded me of that song. Or, the start of that song, the intro to the song where Eckhart Tolle says, this is how we conceptualize human beings. When you put it in that term, in that phrase, it makes it so much easier to understand why it's wrong, why it's wicked. You're just a construct. You're a concept. You're not you. And when you tell yourself that this is really you, you're contradicting yourself. You're a walking contradiction. This is why it's important for people not to go back and forth with people like that, with that type of logic where you tell yourself that this is truly who I am, even though that's not what you were born as. That means that you innately, you have an issue. You have an issue. You suffer from strong delusion and strong gender identity disorder. You telling yourself that this is truly you, even though you had to make the change to look like that. So that's not you. But let's read this, man. Ephesians 5:11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. And that's what you saw in the beginning of the video. That's what you saw in the beginning of the video. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. And it's just going into further understanding in regards to, the people that go into the wicked aspect of, these dogmas and these doctrines, as well as just the understanding of things that people don't really understand because, it's too dark, the undertone of this society when it comes to what we don't see, what we understand, like the Bohemian Grove and, spirit cooking. Those are the things that we don't see, but we understand that, it's apparent, right? For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret because, they have secret societies. They have certain practices that they adhere to where they do it in secret. They have certain lodges, certain meetings that they have in secrecy, right? But all things that are reproved are made manifest by light. Whatever is done in the dark is going to come to light. It's going to come to light, man. For whatsoever doth make manifest is light. So it's important for us to understand why we need to remain on the side that we're positioned on. And, do our best. Do our best to adhere. Do our best to comply. Do our best to follow the commandments to the best of our ability. None of us are perfect. Every day we wake up, that's the Most High letting you know that you have a chance.